Coronation Street has aired a subtle tribute to Craig Tinker 1 year after his death. The character, played by Coulson Smith for 14 years, passed away last May after being subjected to a brutal attack by Mick Michaelis. However, the soap hasn't forgotten about him, with a scene in this Wednesday's episode nodding to the character in a small moment between DS Lisa Connor Swain and PC Warren Brady. Amid Lisa's investigation into the death of Theo Silverton, Warren enters the office and gives her a 10-minute reminder of Craig's memorial service. After thanking her colleague, Lisa says, "Can't believe it's been a year," as the two take a moment before moving on to the case at hand. Fans have reacted positively to the moment, one writing on X, "Well done to the person who thought I know will remember Craig cost so much gets forgotten nowadays. It was nice and the right thing," another added, a third sharing, "That was really good. All too often characters when they go are forgotten. There's no way it's been a year since Craig died, OMG," a fourth said. The same episode saw fans discover that Christina Boyd had been lying about her movements the night of Theo's death, as Brady explained flaws in her story to Lisa. Meanwhile, following his exit last year, Coulson opened up about finding out Craig would be killed off, recalling his initial conversation with Corey producer Kate Brooks. "After we'd been talking for about 20 minutes, I asked Kate, 'Do I get killed?' he shared. She stopped and stumbled a little bit, but I said, 'If it makes it easier for you, the right answer for me is yes. For me to go, I would want Craig to die. I'd want the door to be shut, so I could know in my head that his journey is now over.' So, in a really weird way, it was the right thing for Craig to be killed. I didn't want that possibility of 'we might have you back,' knowing that it would be very unlikely, and knowing that it would feel a bit like unfinished business." He added, "Craig dying in the line of duty as a copper and getting that hero's death was by far the most perfect story for his exit. I've got everything that I've got from Coronation Street, and that's it now, because I know there's no return for Craig in the future." Coronation Street aired a subtle Craig Tinker tribute, but did you spot it? Longtime Coronation Street viewers know that the ITV soap rarely does anything without meaning. Whether it's a passing line in the Rover's return or a background detail on the cobbles, the show has a habit of hiding emotional nods for its most loyal fans. So when viewers recently noticed what appeared to be a subtle tribute to Craig Tinker, it quickly set off a wave of discussion across social media. But here's the twist. It wasn't a loud, dramatic farewell, nor a major storyline centered around loss. Instead, it was something far quieter and arguably far more powerful. A cobble that carries memory. In the episode in question, Craig Tinker was not the focus of a dramatic exit or a life-changing crisis. Instead, attentive fans spotted a carefully placed reference woven into the background of a routine scene on the street. It was easy to miss if you weren't looking closely, a visual detail combined with a brief line of dialogue that didn't feel significant on the surface. But Coronation Street fans are not known for missing details. The tribute came in the form of subtle continuity storytelling, a mention of Craig's ongoing dedication to policing and community service, paired with a visual cue that echoed his early days on the show. For newer viewers, it may have seemed like nothing more than everyday soap dialogue. For longtime fans, it felt like a quiet reminder of how far the character has come since his awkward teenage introduction back in 2011. From awkward teen to street staple, Craig Tinker's journey on Coronation Street has been one of the show's more grounded character evolutions. Introduced as the socially awkward son of Beth Tinker, Craig initially appeared as a comic relief character, often nervous, well-meaning, and struggling to fit in. But over time, the writers slowly reshaped him. His transformation into a police officer marked a significant turning point, not just for the character, but for how viewers perceived him. Craig went from being the uncertain boy on the fringes of the street to someone who actively tries to uphold justice within it. That evolution is exactly why subtle tributes like this land so well with the audience. They're not just referencing a character, they're acknowledging a long-running emotional journey that fans have followed for more than a decade. Why subtle tributes hit harder? In modern soap storytelling, big exits and explosive plot twists are common. Characters leave in dramatic fashion, sometimes returning years later for shock value or nostalgia-driven arcs. But Coronation Street has always excelled at something more understated: emotional continuity. Instead of constantly resetting character development, the show often rewards long-term viewers with small acknowledgments. A passing mention, a familiar prop, or a callback to earlier behavior can carry surprising emotional weight. The Craig Tinker moment fits perfectly into this tradition. It wasn't designed to make headlines. It wasn't written to dominate an episode. Instead, it functioned like a quiet handshake between the writers and the audience, an acknowledgement that Craig's presence still matters, even when he's not at the center of the drama. Fans react. If you know, you know. Once the moment was noticed, fans quickly began sharing clips and screenshots online, debating whether it was intentional or just a coincidence. But most agreed on one thing: it felt deliberate. Comments across fan forums and social media platforms echoed a similar sentiment. Coronation Street had once again rewarded its most observant viewers. One fan described it as the kind of detail you only appreciate if you've watched Craig grow up on the street, while another said it felt like a quiet nod to how long we've been watching him without needing a big storyline. This kind of reaction highlights something important about soap opera culture. Audience investment isn't just about big events. It's about emotional familiarity with characters who feel like part of everyday life. Craig Tinker's place on the street today. While Craig may not always be at the center of major storylines, his role on Coronation Street remains steady and important. As a police officer, he often serves as a bridge between everyday residents and larger criminal investigations unfolding in Weatherfield. This position allows the character to exist in a unique storytelling space. He is not always the hero, nor the victim, nor the villain, but a consistent presence in the background of the street's evolving world. That consistency is likely what made the tribute so effective. It reminded viewers that Craig is still very much part of the fabric of Weatherfield life, even when the spotlight shifts elsewhere. The art of the hidden nod. Soap operas thrive on long memories. Unlike films or short series, they rely on years, sometimes decades, of continuity. That gives writers a unique opportunity. They can reward loyal viewers with subtle callbacks that newer audiences might not fully understand. The Craig Tinker tribute is a perfect example of this technique. It doesn't interrupt the story. It doesn't demand attention. Instead, it quietly reinforces character history in a way that deepens the world building of the show. In a sense, it mirrors real life. People don't always get grand send-offs or dramatic acknowledgments in everyday relationships. Sometimes, their presence is honored simply by continuing to mention them, include them, and remember their role in the ongoing story. A reminder of what makes Coronation Street enduring. After more than 6 decades on air, Coronation Street remains one of Britain's most beloved television institutions. Its success doesn't come solely from explosive plots or shocking twists, but from its ability to make viewers care about ordinary lives unfolding in an ordinary street. Craig Tinker's subtle tribute is a small example of that philosophy in action. It shows that even when nothing dramatic is happening, the show is still paying attention to its characters and expecting its audience to do the same. Final thoughts. Whether you spotted it or not, the subtle Craig Tinker tribute is a reminder of why Coronation Street continues to resonate. It isn't always about what is loudly announced on screen. Sometimes, it's about what quietly lingers in the background. And in Weatherfield, even the smallest detail can carry years of history. So next time you watch an episode, it might be worth looking a little closer. Because on the cobbles, nothing is ever truly or forgotten. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street Scoop News Update.